Well, I'm way past the time that I wanted to get started today, but it rained so much yesterday, it just turned it into a muddy mess. So it's finally drying up enough. I just got back from the hardware store, and I wanted to give you guys an update and let you know what's going on. We found out Friday that they have committed to funding us for the high tunnel and the well development. And we are hugely, hugely thankful for that. Very humbled. Prayers have been answered. We've definitely been saying to try to get this done. I want to let you guys know about this, and you need to know up front, because if you decide to pursue this or planning on pursuing this in the future, there are programs out there where they will allot you 50% of your funding up front to make the purchase or get started in your projects, like for a high tunnel or a well. Unfortunately, the high tunnel and a well or the spring development does not fall under those programs. Now, we didn't get approved for the spring development. I'm not too worried about that. The well was the big one for us, and the high tunnel. Now, if I say high tunnel greenhouse or greenhouse high tunnel, I know I'm referring to a high tunnel. I just may generically refer to it as a greenhouse. But these programs are not eligible for 50% up front, so you are responsible for that money, 100% of that money right out of your pocket up front. And then once you meet the requirements and they certify it, then they'll reimburse you that money. So for the well, they allotted us so much for the well and so much for the submersible pump for the well. We still have to get, it's on us to run the electric up here, to get electric for the well pump itself, for the switch on the pressure tank, because we're going to have to buy the pressure tank ourselves. And we're going to have to get electricity to the high tunnel for the fan, or the fans and stuff like that it's going to require. So know well ahead of time that yes, you are required to provide that money for up front. It's all on you. Secondly, every bit of that money that you get in the form of grants like that, you are going to have to pay or claim on your taxes as income. So be prepared that you have to pay that extra amount of taxes, that tax year or the following tax year for that year, whatever, however you want to say it. You know what I mean? For 2023 taxes, we're going to have to claim this money as income. So you do have to claim that as income. So again, how many times can the federal government tax a dollar? Well, these programs are funded by tax dollars, and they're given to you in the form of grants because you've already paid them and provided that money as in the form of taxes, but now they're going to turn around and tax you on it all over again. So there you go. There's a good example of that. Good puppies. Hi, Mila. I got a dog on each foot sitting here, so yes, be prepared for that. Now, I can't do anything until the engineer draws up the plan for the well here through the NRCS, their engineer. So he has to draw up the well plan, and I'm going to go ahead and do that first, because I've got a well driller coming out this week to kind of look at the site here and give me an idea of everything that we're going to need and what we need to do. And I got a pretty good idea, but like I said, the pressure tank's going to be on our cost that they're not going to reimburse us for. It's truly about a 90% funding program. You're going to be responsible for at least 10%. So again, be prepared for that. And thank goodness that we did start when the pandemic hit. We really tightened our belts up, and we've paid a lot of our debt down, and we've saved up some money and stuff like that, so we can go through with this. And then once the well is done and we get it certified and reimbursed for it, then we'll go ahead and go with the purchase for the high tunnel and start that process. Now, I do have to send a soil sample in before I do any amendments here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, get the soil sample done, and get it sent to West Virginia University, where they can do the soil analysis and tell us what kind of amendments it needs. And that way that's done and out of the way, and then I can go ahead and get everything kind of in play for that when comes a time to get that thing built. We're probably looking at the end of summer, honestly, with all things said and done. By the time stuff gets done and the whole process gets done, and there's just, and I don't even know how long it's going to take us to get the well drilled, because we're probably looking at midsummer before they'll even get out here to be able to drill the well, because they're so backlogged. And that's all drilling companies that I've talked to around here. So it's a plus that people are using wells more and more. We should be getting our water from the earth like we're supposed to, rather than from rivers that's highly treated and highly chlorinated and full of pharmaceuticals and all kinds of other chemicals. But anyway, that's a story for a different time. With that, today I have got to build 2 more raised beds, because we're expanding our growing. So I've got 2 more 4x8 raised beds. I'll pop a little video on later about that, just maybe a little short. They're real simple to build. I sourced some local cut hardwood 4x4s there the other day. I've got them. I just went and got the metal last night. And then today, for the chicken tractors, I had 4-foot galvanized hanging feeders that you can either set on the ground or hang them. And they're long trough type. The 4-footers can't accommodate the amount of chickens, because you can put up to 30 chickens in each tractor, and I try to keep it down on that. But as these chickens get bigger, they really crowd each other out on a 4-foot. So I took last year and took a section of a 4-inch sewer pipe that we had left over. It wasn't used, it was leftover. It was 4-inch plastic or PVC sewer pipe, and it was 7 feet long, and I just went ahead and cut a channel right down the middle of it. I think it was like 2.5 inch wide channel, and then I capped each end and hung it in from the inside of the tractor, and that made a fantastic feeder for the chickens, and it allowed for the amount of chickens and the size of them as they get bigger to be able to fit in and eat out of the feed trough. So I went and bought 2 more sections today. I'm going to get those, hopefully get those built. Hopefully get the chicken tractor moved out to the pasture, because I've got the other 2 out there already. I got that area mowed, got the 2 tractors out there. I just need to get the 3rd one moved, because I was keeping the guineas in that 3rd tractor here in the yard and was moving them every 2 days. And I started opening up the door to let them out, and for 4 days they wouldn't come out. So on the 5th day, I opened up the door, and they came out in force, and they have not gone back in since then. They will not go back in that tractor, even though I keep food and water in there for them and that door propped open. Those guineas will not go back in that tractor, but they have stayed all right here, and I don't mind that a bit. That's essentially their job, is to walk around, be a security alarm, and eat bugs and ticks out of our yard. And I popped a little short video on here the other day about that, so it's pretty comical. I don't mind them a bit, because I know they do good here, and they help decrease predation because of the amount of noise that they make. And so they are decreasing and preventing predation. And if somebody or something comes in the yard or even flies over, they let you know about it. So that's a plus in and of itself too. But I want to get that 3rd tractor moved out there today and get all that ready, because if I can't get them in by this evening, I got to get the water tote filled up too and get it taken out there. But again, if I don't get everything done this evening and get the meat chicks moved out there by this evening, I'll definitely have them out there by tomorrow evening, as long as something terrible doesn't happen between now and then. All right, so just that update. Like I said, through the NRCS, the grants, yes, you are responsible for that money 100% up front. That has to come out of your pocket. You have to meet the requirements to get them certified. Once you're done, meet their requirements. Once they do certify them, they will reimburse you that money. So be prepared for that. Also, that money that they do give you in the form of grant, even though you are paying for it up front and first, yes, you have to claim that money back on your income for that tax year. So be prepared for that as well. I got, I think I said already, 2 more raised beds to build, because we're expanding our growing. Those are real simple. I'll pop a little video on that later. Once we do get the high tunnel in place and get everything, the landscaping done around it, we're going to probably bring those other 4x8 beds up here and kind of strategically place around to have more growing as well outside as well. And that way we have a lot more of a growing footprint going on, and we have the well here to provide that water. Now, hopefully they get the well done. We have good water, and we really should, because of the height that we're at, the elevation that we set at. And there's a lot of water on this hill anyways. So hopefully we get good water. If we get good water out of it, I have to take a sample of it. And it actually has to go to Penn State because they do a more comprehensive, more easy to read evaluation on the water when they test it. So I have to do that once they get the well in place. But once I do and they certify it, then I'm going to extend that well. I'm going to take that well, I'm going to run pipe out across the property and place a frost-free hydrant at each animal pen or place, you know what I mean, and even take it out farther, as much around as I can, out to my other meadows. That way I have a water source at each meadow out there as we go forward with, growing our farm and increasing our our livestock and everything. So and if it's even that good, I'm probably going to just run it straight to the house, have our municipal water shut off, and just use it as our primary source of water. Because hey, guess what? This water's not full of. It's not full of chloride, chlorine, and everything else, or fluoride, chlorine, and all that other nasty stuff that they put in our waters. And I think that's it. So it's getting dry enough. I'm going to go ahead and get those beds built. I'll show you that. Like I said, a real easy process. I'll pop another video on here later, just little short videos, and that way you can follow everything going on. Again, again, I tell you guys, get and stay prepared. I cannot emphasize that enough. All you got to do is pay attention to what's going on the southern border. We know factually that there are people from foreign nations, not just South America, Central America, and Mexico, coming across our border. There's Chinese nationals. There's people from all over the world coming in, from African nations and everything like that, coming across our southern border. And with today's style of warfare and the people that we're facing, we know for a fact that what they're referring to as the war in Ukraine truly is World War III, because of the amount of countries providing funding and weaponry to both sides. We know it truly is a world war. And one of the best ways for them to even take on America or take down parts of America is to send people in plain clothes across the southern border. And once they are here, all they have to do is hook up with people who are already here, or just start interrupting infrastructure and everything, in the form of, be it electronic or just, knocking out power substations, sabotaging municipal water systems. There's so many little things that these people can do coming in as combatants, just to cause all kinds of havoc and problems and interrupt typical everyday services that we're used to. So again, I don't have to sit here and continue to tell you this and beat a dead horse, but it's bad. Things are going to get worse. We know it. The economy is not going to hold. You have to be able to provide for yourself. You have to be able to provide for your family, not only the food safety and the security of your own food, but also for the physical safety of your family. And as I stated in previous videos, if you're not, get armed, get trained, know how to proficiently and safely use a weapon to protect yourself and your family and your home, and do so judiciously and responsibly, but be that person who's able to protect and provide for your family, because we cannot depend on anyone else to do it for us. We have the ability ourselves. I got a big bee buzzing around me somewhere right here. We have the abilities to protect and provide for ourselves, and we need to take full advantage of it and implement that 100%, because nobody's going to come and rescue you, folks. It's on you. It's on you. So be that protector, be that provider for your family, man or woman. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're mommy or your daddy or you're pulling double duty on both ends of it. Be able to provide for your family. Grow in 5-gallon buckets if you have to. I just shared an article on that on the Hills and Hollers Facebook page. There's 100 different things you can do for yourself and your family, and I would tell you to use as many of them as you possibly can. In the meantime, get and stay prepared, stay free. God bless y'all.